Hello viewers, Flash Motorsport here and welcome to the Nürburgring. We're going to be doing some nighttime racing. I know it says sunset on the thing, but that is not sunset, that is definitely nighttime to me. As we pull off, we're in the MG on medium tyres. Now the races are being made shorter, so you could do the whole race basically on one set of medium tyres, providing you're gentle with them and don't scrub them too much. As we head down to a first corner, take it wide. Try and keep away from all the chaos that's on the inner part of the turn. Doesn't sound too bad, to be honest, but this next corner, everybody decides to bash each other around a little bit more. As you come down to this third corner, this is where it all kicks off. And yeah, Honda sideways, Audi's been pushed off the track, I clip the Audi, and then we will start making our way again. Lucky enough I don't get a penalty for it. As we come down this straight, I try and make a bit of time up. I am in a dead last place, but a bit more kicks off and MG's been pushed off the track and I take the inside a little bit too deep, but come out the other side and try and get past this Audi. Ultimately I let the Audi take the position. I'm not going to fight it, I don't want to be rammed off the track. I can catch him up later on and make a move further down the line. Coming down this back straight here, well, it's not straight, there's a kink in it, but you can take it flat out. Keep to your left hand side, rub the inner curb, and basically keep your toe down. Looking out for your right hand side for the 100 board, braking down the second gear. You can rub over the chicanes if you like, but I wouldn't go like the Audi did, you get a little bit of a penalty for that one. After coming out of the chicane, be mindful of the next corner ahead of you is going to be very tight. Down the second gear, once you pass the barrier, put your foot down and power out to the outside of the track. As we now approach start and finish line, we're going to lose the position now. The MG had a better come out of the exit than I did and is going to make a move on us and take the inside of the next turn ahead of us. Looking out to your left hand side, breaking out the 100 board, down to second gear and dive in. This is a corner where you can make or break your lap times as well as your race position. It's best to try and clip the apex on the inside. I didn't because obviously they had the MG on the inside. But if you clip the apex and power out as early as you can, it really does help your position and lap time throughout the rest of the race. As you see, more carnage ensues, and that's 2 places gained, 3 places gained now because I've just overtaken the Audi. But that second, well, be the third corner is quite a battle. Coming the inside, second gear, power on as soon as you're halfway around and to the outside line of the track. Go back to your right hand side, braking at the 50 board, down the third gear, rub over the apex and power back on. Keep to your left hand side here as you turn right. Try not to go over the outer curb as there is a lot of sand and the sand will absolutely destroy the speed you've got coming out of that corner. Clip the inner curb here and keep your power down, looking again for your right hand side for the 100 board and then braking down to second gear. Rub over the curbs. You've got to be careful, sometimes if you go over the yellow bit it can really upset the car, so take the yellow bit with caution and be prepared for the car's imbalance coming out. And again we cross over the start and finish line. Having a better run out and a quicker car, we make a move on this Honda in front of us now. Going over to the outside, or will be the inside of the next corner ahead of us. Looking out for the 100 board, braking down the second gear, and this is what I mean by clipping the apex. Just like that, with the assistance of the Honda next to me, because giving someone a bit of space is frowned upon, I guess. As we come around the next corner here, we're making big gains on the Honda and catching up to the MG in front. Skipping ahead, lap 4. This is the mistake I made coming out of this, not this corner here but the next corner. When I said beware of the sand trap, I'm talking from experience. I took the corner quite well, but I powered on a little bit too soon, went out wide and then straight into the sand pit. As you can see, absolutely destroyed my time. The MG in front is now getting away, 3 seconds ahead of me, and the car behind me is now catching up. Okay, the car behind me has a long way to catch up yet, but if they was all in a pack, we would have lost good 5 or 6 places easily over that. So be better mindful and best stay away from the sand hole. I'd also like to clarify, it could be gravel. I could be mistaken. So don't shoot me down in the comments by saying, oh, it's gravel and, you know, it's dark. It all looks the same. Don't sweat it. As we come on to our final lap, we are in P7. We're in a strong P7 because the car in front of us is 3 seconds ahead, the car behind us is 3 seconds behind, so we're pretty much stuck here, to be quite honest with you. Clip the apex and power on. Come to your right hand side, come over to your left, rub the curb a little bit, try and stay off the mud, and come over to your right hand side. Keep to your right, down the second gear again, and let the back end slide out a little bit. Come over to your left and bring it back over to the right. These corners are quite fiddly and they can either eat your time or make your time, so be mindful of that. Braking at the 50 board, down the second gear again, powering on, and we're catching up to the MG, so I wonder if his tyres are absolutely shattered. Hopefully I can make a play here, that's what I'm looking for. Over the curb, my tyres are starting to wear now. So I take my time over the next corner. I don't want to go into the gravel sand pit again. And power back on. Now, we've only got a couple of corners left. And I don't think I'm going to be able to take this MG in front of me. There's 0.6 seconds ahead, 0.5. There's not enough run for me to be able to catch up by a slipstream. Rub over the sausages. And I decide to go back into the pit again. This is a case of pushing the car too hard to try and make a move, as well as having worn out tyres. I get a 0.1 second penalty, which is actually very lenient. I've very rarely seen that, so that's not too bad, I guess. As we cross the finish line, we are in P7, and that's the end of that race. Moving on to Grand Oak Raceway. Now, this track I decided to do a qualifying. I know, it's weird for me. So this is my first qualify. And coming down, soft tyres and 9 laps of fuel on me. I should have reduced the fuel down to 3 laps, but does it really matter for the few? No. Coming down 5th gear, rub the inner curb onto the outer curb, braking down to 4th gear, and let the car sort of semi-slide round to an extent. Keep to your left hand side. As soon as you get under the billboards, braking down to 3rd gear, rub the inner apex, and then brake again for 2nd gear. I go in a bit deep, and it's hard to really give you markers of where I'm accelerating. Besides, usually as soon as I see the cranes, when I decide to put the power on. Come around here, this is my marker, is perfect here. There's blue hut, get past the blue hut, power back on. I'll come past down here. Keep to your right hand side, keep your foot down, turn left and clip this inner apex here. Now this is going to be my fastest lap now, because that one there is pretty much a tyre warm-up lap. So as we keep to our right hand side, get under the billboard, brake down to 5th gear, let the car coast around and power back on. Just float it over so you can come to the outside curb, braking down to 4th gear, rub this in the curb and power back on. Keep to your left hand side. As soon as you get under the billboard, a brake for 3rd gear. Rub the inner apex and power on a little bit and then brake again. Down to 2nd gear, as soon as you see the tyre wall, power back on and keep to your left hand side, brake for 3rd gear and rub the inner apex. Come up to your right hand side, keep in 3rd gear here and keep to the inside line, looking for the blue hut. As soon as you're parallel to the blue hut, power back on, come over to your right hand side and keep your power down, looking for when you'll be able to turn left, rub the inner apex just a little bit, just like that, and cross over the start and finish line. That is going to give me a P1 position. Now this is where the fun starts, because I've never qualified in P1 and actually kept it, so I'm actually starting in P1. Now it's a case of holding P1. I'm not very good under pressure, I must admit. I get a bit rigid is the best way of putting it. Then I start sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat before, so it's quite an uncomfortable moment for me, if I'm not going to lie. But I'm proud of my actions. I've got P1, I'm going to try my best to hold it. Braking under the board, 3rd gear, take it a bit deep. Tyres are on medium and also the tracker's not being rubbered in. So come around the side, tyre wall, power on, keep to your left. Brake down to 3rd gear, rub the inner apex. Just touch the throttle a little bit more, get your speed back up for this next corner, lost long bend here. Looking out for that blue hut, powering back on when you're parallel to it, and keep your toe down all the way through. Now I'm not too sure what happens to the green Audi behind me, because they was right up behind me and suddenly I'm making massive gains on them. So I'm not sure what happened there. Missed gear, forgot a gear, whatever. But we are making very good progress. Coming up under the billboard, brake down to 5th gear, coast it round, power on a little bit to get your speed back up again, and then brake down to 4th gear. Come over to your left hand side and looking out for the next billboard again, and then braking down to 3rd gear. Clipped it in the apex, better than I just did. Braking down to 2nd gear, looking out for the tyre wall and powering back on again. Keep to your left hand side, brake, keep it in 3rd gear, rub this in the apex and power back on again to get your speed back up. Get to about 80 miles per hour, 75-80 miles an hour, coast it around this bend, see the blue hut, power back on again. As you can see, like I say, with my being a P1, I'm a bit rigid. The Audis are catching up to me because I'm making silly little mistakes that's costing me tenths here and there on each of the corners. But I'm 4 seconds this lap faster than I was the previous lap. Braking under the board again, down to 5th gear. This lap I'm going to do my best and try and break the gap I have them behind me. 0.7 seconds, 0.8 seconds, they're within the slipstream. I don't want that, because as soon as we come out of and pass over the start and finish line, that slipstream is made to break my P1 position. But I turned these corners much better, and I managed to keep my gap, if not increasing it. Looking out for the right hand side, 3rd gear, let it slide around a little bit, powering on, and you can see I'm increasing that gap from the cars behind me. Again, looking for the blue hut, powering on and over to the outside. Try and get as much speed out of that corner as you can. It makes a huge difference down this bit here. Swing over to your left, rub the inner curb and just keep your toe down as hard as you can. Again, after the 4 seconds previous lap, I'm 1.189 seconds again faster this lap. That's 5 seconds in total, which I'm pretty proud of. Now I'm 1.3 seconds ahead of the cars behind. Braking down to 4th gear, slide it round, keep to your left hand side, again looking for the billboard and then braking down to 3rd gear. Coast it round, powering on and then braking again down to 2nd gear. Going a little bit too quick and a little bit too far there before I applied the brakes, which is going to cost me probably about 0.2 of a second. But now I'm 1.3 seconds, 1.4 seconds ahead of the cars behind me. And again looking for the blue hut on your left hand side and powering back on again. We're halfway through the race, the tyres are looking good, and it's now more of a case of looking after your tyres, because you don't want on the last lap your tyres to be absolutely had it, just slipping around everywhere, and if the person behind has been tyre saving, then that person would then gain hugely on your position. So now I'm more thinking about tyre saving and being a bit more gentle, not pushing it so hard, because now I'm 1.8 seconds ahead. Which is a huge lead considering 2 seconds ahead now. So looking up for the crane, braking down the 3rd gear, hang it over to the right, powering on and then braking again for 2nd gear. Looking out for the tyre wall and apply your power gently so you reduce the understeer you're going to create on the tyre slip. Again, I do come in a bit hot here, back end gives up and I just slide it around, but sometimes that slide is quite beneficial, gaining time. Again looking for the blue hut and powering on again. As you can see now I'm 2 seconds ahead of the cars behind me. So like I say, it's all about tyre saving now. Try and look after your tyres, preserve your tyres, because when they drop off, the difference is quite substantial. Skipping ahead to lap 8, the start of our final lap. We have lapped a car that was in last position, they're in the rear view mirror now. Tyre saving has helped to an extent, they are quite worn now. The issue I've been having is obviously trying to break the gap from the cars behind has really worn my tyres out quite substantially, more than I actually anticipated. So although I was pushing the car, I was really pushing it at the start of this race, trying to create that gap from the P2 and P3 position. Just come up now, moderate tyre wear, so I've got to be really careful, but I do feel that the cars behind me have also really worn their tyres, because the gap is quite substantial and they're not gaining on me at the moment. So I think me pushing it as hard as I did and them trying to keep up with me has basically worn our tyres overall evenly. As you can see, I'm being far more cautious on these final few turns. The last thing I want to do is mess up on the final corner of the track. That'd be so embarrassing. But as you can see, I have got P1 position. The first time I've ever qualified in P1 and actually stayed in P1. So go meet a round of applause, smash a like for that one. Moving on to daytime now, we're in Yas Marina. I did qualify again. I did do terrible. I got P9 position. So it is what it is. Go up to the outside, I have a good start off the line, breaking up the 100 board down to third gear. Now I keep on the outside as much as I can here, trying not to get battered about, but the plan didn't really work. I start getting moved around a little bit, get hit by a good few people. But we do fight it, keep it straight, and come up to this next corner here. Now this is where things got a lot more interesting. Break for the corner, the car behind didn't brake. Literally gets shunted half a mile off the track. The Atomic Spark 7758 did apologise for it. It says sorry at the top right. Not a problem. We've all made mistakes before. It's just, I think I've done it a handful of times in that corner. I know what it is when you go on the outside of everyone, you're overtaking everybody. You don't realise how quickly that corner catches up to you, and then you hit the brakes and you're far too late and you just literally dive bomb everybody. So I've done it. We've all done it. If you haven't done it, you're amazing. But if you have done it, put it in the comments below, let me know. To me, it's just funny. I remember when I did it, I was like, ah! Hit that brake pedal and nothing happened. I was like, oh dear, this is going to be embarrassing. Anyway, start of lap 2. We're in P11, so I've only lost 2 places. Following Smokey 83 in the Gulf. Coming in a bit hot. You've got to watch these curbs. They do play funny tricks on you. Braking down a second gear. Take it tight, power on, up to third gear, and then brake again for this corner here, down second gear, power on as soon as you turn that corner, and try and rub the outer triangle bit of the line. Come down this back straight, flat out, keep to your right hand side, and look out for the 100 board. There's 200, 150, 100, braking down the second gear. Now you can take this corner in one swoop if you get it just right in second gear. The VW wasn't so lucky. As we come around here, third gear, let off and then back on so you don't understeer off the track. You can see what I mean about the curbs. You clip the curb, it does play little tricks on you, and that was the car. Braking up the 100 board, down to third gear, rub this in the curb and over to the outer curb. Now keep away from the outer curb because that curb always seems to bite me in the backside. I do not like that outer curb. Anyway, I'll come in through here a little bit too hot, understeer like anything and slide it around, so I do not have the optimal line for this corner here. The VW tries making gains and again near enough goes off track. Down the second gear, powering on to the outside and back down the straight bit again. Now all I want to do is get into the slipstream with that MG in front. I'm 0.9 seconds away. My car is pretty quick in the straight lines. I've changed the gear ratio so it accelerates much faster. Braking down the second gear, round the corners, power on and keep to your left hand side. Third gear over the curb and keep your foot down. As you can see, I've gained 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second there, so I'm right up behind LRS Breezy. Braking down at the 100 board, third gear, coast it round. I wonder where the track limits on that are because I took that quite deep and I didn't get a track limit warning, so I'm quite curious on the track limits on that. Being more mindful of this corner here, still going a little bit hot, slide the car around, but I'm not as badly positioned as I was before. It has cost me a few tenths of a second, the 0.6 in front of me. Turn left, power on as soon as you can, and come down this back straight again. Now, like I say, those corners, because that final corner I did, coming in a bit hot, it's cost me quite a bit substantial time for the next 2 sets of corners after that, or 3 sets of corners really. Brake in second gear, curve it round, and then power on. Luckily enough, I think the Audi and the Mercedes in front are battling a little bit, so it is bringing me closer to the pack. The car in front has a 0.3 second penalty, and the car behind has a 0.8 second penalty, but the car behind is 4.2 seconds away, which is quite a lot, to be fair. Skipping ahead to the start of lap 6, the Audi goes up the inside of the Mercedes, and then the Mercedes takes over the Audi on the inside. So that was a great switch from them two. The MG decides to go up the inside here and has a bit quicker cornering capabilities than the Audi. Coming up to the next corner here, the Audi gets outbraked by the MG. The MG goes up the inside, and I'm just sitting there watching, thinking, well, you know, where's my position? This link behind us, the pink link, comes out of nowhere and really adds the pressure on for all of us. I get the inside line quicker than the Audi. I'm up behind the MG. I got the outside, trying to make a position, but they are squeezing me quite tight. Looking out for the 100 board, braking down the second gear. I'm going to take it wide. As you can see, the MG came in very hot, so if I took that corner the way I was intended to, the MG would have literally just taken me clean out. I cut up the Audi a little bit, but no harm, no foul. We're all in positions, and I'm trying to make gains on this MG in front of us. Now, they do have a penalty, so even if I can't overtake, I've got to try and keep in 0.3 seconds behind them to make sure I gain that position. As you can see, that Link is now overtaking the Audi behind us, and to be fair to that Link, I don't know where they came from, but they handled that car really well, and they're really making gains on all of us. They're proper showing us up. The only way I can explain it is the best way of putting it. We need to step up our game if that person's come out of nowhere and literally slapping us about. But minor tyre wear has just come up. I got the inside of the MG this time. They do try and defend, but I keep to the left hand side. I want the inside line of this next corner here. I'm going to be slower and they're going to be faster, but I want this line. We're breaking down a second gear, take it tight, and they turn into me like I'm not there. I mean, they know that I am there because I was in front of them in the corner. So there's no excuse really to not give room as you're going around. Why is that person trying to hit the apex when there's a car on the inside also on the apex? It just makes your mind boggle. So in the rear view mirror is 3 abreast and the MG backs out. The Link and the Audi are right up behind me, and the Audi then backs off with the Link. Now the Link is really pushing me. As you can see, they've backed out as well. I break down the second gear. Now it's a case of really fighting off that Link. We're on our last lap and I'll do my best not to lose that position. As you can see, they are trying to find a way to get around me. As we come down this back straight, this is what worries me now, is because they'll have the slipstream and probably a better angle of that corner. So I'll keep it on the right hand side. Hopefully my power will out pursue them. As we both brake, for some reason my back end gets pushed out. Now it doesn't come up with any contact on the screen, so I don't know if they were touching me or a bit net coding or something was odd there, but I do manage to race him or drag race him up to the line here. They have a 0.8 second penalty, so that is a P8 gained for me. But like I say, it was a weird situation how my back end went out a little bit. I wasn't steering or nothing like that, so I wonder if they was just nudging me or the game thought they was touching me when they actually wasn't. Anyway, that's the end. Thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next time.